Bismillah, salatu wassalam, Rasulullah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ala. In the name of Allah, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his companions, and all those who follow him until the day of judgment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. We, alhamdulillah, by the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are on session number 12 in going through briefly through the text of the book called Hilya Talib al-Ilm. So this book is titled, or is translated as such, as the etiquettes of the students of knowledge, but this should be like the jewels, right? The jewels or the ornaments for the student of knowledge. Now, alhamdulillah, we are on chapter 5, which is the etiquettes of the students leading a life of knowledge. So in this section, we're going to cover. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, Shaykhna, Shaykh Hassan. MashaAllah. It's an honor to have you present in this session. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us all, inshallah, and may Allah make it great in the reward of the author, Shaykh Bakr Abu Zayd, rahimahullah. So we are in last section was 24 and 25, was having high aspirations for seeking knowledge, right? Having high aspirations and hoping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seeking knowledge, right? And also having high aspiration shouldn't be that one, it doesn't mean that one has pride. You know, pride is different. High aspiration is the adornment of the inheritors of the prophets, right? But pride is the sickness. Pride is that which is the inheritance of shaitan, right? Now, and the 25th section is the burning desire for seeking knowledge, right? One has to have that fervor, that desire to continue learning, not for the sake of acquisition of information, but for the sake of internalization of this information, right? Acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of its understanding, right? And that comes with the mentorship and the proper instructors, right? So getting the true understanding of that knowledge that one acquired, and then learning the wisdom and the application of that knowledge. So first is finding that treasure of knowledge. Second is, when one attains it, is to understand it for its due purpose. And third is that once one understands it, then one is accountable, right, for putting it into practice, right? If sometimes we acquire the knowledge and we don't understand it for its intended sense, we end up trying to apply it, and sometimes the application of good, sound knowledge ends up giving wrong results, right? So now, on today's section, inshallah, is section 26 and 27th of the book Hilya Talib al-Ilm, which is emigrating for the sake of seeking knowledge. And this doesn't mean just emigrating from your country, right? But it means that you have to have the ability and the commitment to be able, if you have the means, to be able to travel towards knowledge, to go to knowledge. So here we have, for example, Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when the Prophet ﷺ passed away, he found out that there was a Sahabi who had a hadith that he didn't have. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu went to the house of this Sahabi, of this companion, and he realized that the companion was actually doing the siesta, right? He was doing qaylula. He was taking a nap. So when the companion was taking a nap, Ibn Abbas took in consideration that he's taking a nap, and he didn't knock on the door. He just took his outer garment, folded it up, and laid down in the footstep of the door of the house of this companion. When this companion opened the door and saw Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas is the cousin of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the son of the uncle of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this Sahabi, when he opened the door, he sees Ibn Abbas in the floor, and he said, "Oh son of the uncle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know why you didn't knock?" He said, "Because what you have is what I'm seeking. So if I'm seeking it, then I should wait, right? I should wait." And this is part of the adab, manners. So, but what we learned from this is that Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he went to seek knowledge. He went to acquire this hadith, this statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, and this was also the way of the scholars of hadith, that they used to travel to seek knowledge. They used to travel to acquire hadith, and they also they verified it. So there is a statement that says, whoever is not strong enough to travel, to seek knowledge, he will never be traveled to. So if one wants to one day become a teacher, then one way is by traveling to seek knowledge. And if one doesn't travel and expect the knowledge to come to them, don't expect, when one has become somewhat qualified in a specific sense, don't expect people to come to you, right? So whoever does not emigrate, the author, Bakr Abu Zayd, rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy on him, said, so whoever does not emigrate to seek knowledge in search of teacher, right? Searching for a teacher also requires that one knows what one's objective is, right? Because one is that you want to continue to build upon what you want to build upon, right? Now, number two is that you don't want to try to attain something, a specific subject, from a teacher who maybe is not his specialty, right? So you go and you use his time, and you might use his time in something that might take him away from something that's more of his specialty, right? So we don't want to waste the time of a teacher. We want to value it. So therefore, one has to know what one's objective is, and then seek to find that those specific teachers who have specific qualifications, right? So then one travels. If one doesn't travel to seek a teacher, to find a teacher, right, and then travel to acquire from them, to seek knowledge from them, then it's very likely that one will become qualified enough to be traveled to. Because these scholars pass their time in learning, like traveling to knowledge, and they spend their time in teaching this knowledge, right? And in order to possess this knowledge, and going and finding these teachers and attaining and going to them, right, saves the teachers energy and time. So when you go to them, you might get excuse me, a teacher that has more energy because he's relaxed, right? Now, when you acquire knowledge from these teachers, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, you can acquire knowledge, you can acquire precision, right, in subtle points of knowledge that they have understanding of. And also you can acquire experience, right? And this experience is rarely found in the books. These experiences are rarely found in the books. Now, section number 27, preserving knowledge through writing. So section number 26 is having the ability to travel to seek knowledge, right? To travel to seek knowledge. Number 27 is preserving knowledge through writing. Do your utmost to preserve knowledge in writing, because binding knowledge by the way of writing preserves it from, safeguards it from losing it, right? And also it is a shortcut, right? It is a shortcut in that whenever you're trying to research something, whatever you wrote, you somewhat have it in your mind and you know where to find it. So therefore it makes research a little bit easier for you, especially regarding issues that are not, they're not easy to find, right? So for example, perhaps it is one of the greatest benefits that you would have when you become old, right? When you become old, old when you become of old age and and weak, and you need to find this material, at least you have these notes that will make it easier for you to find. Now the reason, in order to do this, one should have, a scrapbook or a notebook for yourself in order to write the precious gems that one acquires from the lessons, right? And one also from different topics, etc. And then when you write transfer these what you gather in a different notebook, right? So first you have a scrapbook, like one that you just write information. Then you take this information and you transfer it to a notebook, right? This notebook should be organized by subject, right? You should write the heading, right? The heading of each issue, right? And also you should write the name of the book, right, which you're getting the information from. And you should write the page number of the book. And you should write the volume number of the book, right? Then right above what you have written, right? So once you compile in the notebook that you're organizing, right, you put in all these details, the title, the book, the page number, the volume, right? The author, rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy on him, said, then write on the top of this collection, transferred, right? Why? So that you do not confuse yourself or others by having this information as, let's say, one information that you compiled. But this is actually information that you transferred from one place to another place, right? So as not to confuse with that which has not been transferred. So when you put transferred, right, you have also, that if you have information that's not transferred as well, that you're keeping a record of it so that you don't mix one with the other. So then, for example, if you're transferring something, right, from the old scrapbook and you stop, you mark it, you put transferred, the section that you wrote, and whatever you didn't transfer, you leave it like that so that you can know where you left off. Now, there are a number of works written by scholars on this manner, this way of writing. One of them is Bada'il al-Fawaid of Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya rahimahullah. Another one is Khabai al-Zawaya by Az-Zarqashi, and Al-Ighal and Baqaya al-Khabaya, and many others. So therefore, bind knowledge with writing. There is a saying in Arabic, قَيِّدَ الْعِلْمُ قَبْلَ أَن تَطِيرَ, right? Tie down the knowledge, tie down the bird before it flies away, right? Tie down the knowledge before it flies away by writing it, by writing this knowledge. Especially unique benefits that are not found in specific locations. Like if you have a big book and you found some benefit, now you might say, oh, I'll remember. And then as time passes by, you want to find that information, but you can't locate it, right? And you're like, oh man, I forgot what chapter or what section, or I didn't mark it, right? Another way, another way to make it easier on yourself, right? Let me get something. Bismillah. Another way to make it easy on yourself. Give me 1 second. I want to show you something, right? Another way to make it easy on yourself. Bismillah. I just want to be practical. Inshallah ta'ala. Where's the okay? Another way to make it practical is by using a sticky note, right? And with the sticky notes, you mark the pages, the pages that you mark the sections that you want to go back to, right? So therefore, it's good to use different colors, right? So one color can be for the section that is transferred, right? This section is transferred, and then the other color can be for the section that is not transferred. So therefore, you kind of organize yourself, and as you organize yourself in the book, in the notebook, right? And you're trying to safeguard this knowledge by writing it, that system also gets organized in your mind as well, inshallah. And so the author said, therefore, bind knowledge by writing it, especially unique benefits that are not found in their likely locations, and things hidden in corners which are sometimes out of context, right? And also scattered pearls which you see and hear, that you fear that will pass you by, and so on. Also, because the memory will weaken and forgetfulness is frequent. Ash-Sha'bi rahimahullah said, if you hear anything, write it. If you hear anything, write it. Even on a wall. Narrated by Khaythamah. If that which Allah willed to grant you from knowledge is gathered before you, then organize it in a notebook or a scrapbook according to the subject, for it will come to your aid in times of constraint, in which even a very reliable person will be helpless in achieving anything. So the 2 points of today is, one is traveling to seeking knowledge, going to seek knowledge, right? And it doesn't mean just traveling overseas to the Muslim world. It could be traveling from a city to a city. It could be traveling, like if a sheikh is doing a class in a specific location, try to make time to go to him, right? And learn from him, and also see the adab, the manners, and have adab in the way of dealing. Don't just demand from the sheikh, but try to show like high level of adab. And this is extremely important. This is mainly what we're discussing in this whole book, right? Adab al-talib al-ilm, hilya talib al-ilm. The adab of thought, the jewels, the jewels, the ornaments of the students of knowledge is the adab. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this ability to have high adab, inshallah ta'ala, in the path of seeking His knowledge. Inshallah, the next two sections to conclude is section 28 and 29. 28 is preservation of knowledge through paying attention. Preservation of knowledge through paying attention. And number 29, occasional revision of knowledge. Occasional revision of knowledge. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our shortcoming. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. Oh Allah, we ask you for guidance. We ask you for taqwa. We ask you for preservation of our chastity, and we ask you for contentment. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. Oh Allah, we ask you for knowledge that is beneficial. Oh Allah, we ask you for wealth that is pure. Oh Allah, we ask you for actions that are accepted by you. Barakallahu fikum. وصلى الله وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. وإياكم حفظك الله. May Allah preserve you, Sheikh Hassan. May Allah reward you for all that you put forward as well. Barakallah fiqh. May Allah bless your family as well for their sacrifice of you and their support. Barakallah fiqum. Assalamu alaikum.